Mike is a young man with a good heart and big dreams, but his life on Earth is full of disappointments. One day he decides to leave everything that is holding him back and heads to California, hoping to find a new purpose there. He says goodbye to his family and leaves, feeling that something special lies ahead of him. On the way, he notices a woman standing by a broken-down car. He stops to help and they spend a few hours together talking. Mike feels warmth and connection with this stranger, but fate decides otherwise and their paths diverge. Finding himself in California, Mike takes a job in an office. The new life seems gray and empty to him. He tries to make acquaintances and find love, but these attempts do not bring him happiness. At one of the meetings he goes for a walk by the lake, where he sees a child falling into the water. Without a second thought, he rushes to rescue him. The child manages to pull to the shore, but Mike finds himself in the water and loses consciousness. When Mike wakes up, he realizes that he is in a completely different place. Everything is filled with bright light, silence and a sense of serenity. It is explained to him that he has died and is now in heaven. This place is filled with astonishing beauty, golden fields, rivers shining in the gentle rays of light, and the air soaked in peace. Here he meets Annie, a woman with a soft voice and kind eyes, who helps him adjust to his new world. Annie explains that heaven is a place where souls rest and prepare for their next journey to Earth. Mike, shocked by her words, begins to ask a lot of questions. He wants to understand why he is here and what will happen next. Annie reassures him with a smile, saying that everything is going as it should. Gradually Mike and Annie begin to spend more and more time together. They walk along rivers, sit on hills covered with soft grass, and talk about their life on Earth. Mike shares memories of his family, how he was always looking for love and happiness but never found it. Annie talks about her dreams of helping people that she never got to fulfill. These conversations bring them closer together, creating a deep emotional connection. Mike feels that Annie is the person he has been searching for his whole life. Their days are filled with joy, but one day Mike learns that Annie must soon return to Earth. It's her turn to start a new life. Mike realizes he can't lose her, but Annie reminds him that it's the rules that souls return to Earth to live another life. Mike desperately begs for a chance to go after her, even though it violates the established order. After much discussion, Mike is allowed to follow Annie, but on one condition: on Earth they will not remember each other. They will have to find each other all over again. Mike agrees, knowing that his love for Annie is worth all the hardship. Mike is reborn into a family of laborers. His childhood is spent in a small town full of worries, but he always has the feeling that somewhere there is someone he must find. In his dreams he sees images of a glowing river and a woman with kind eyes, but he can't understand where these visions come from. As a teenager, Mike becomes fascinated with art, painting strange landscapes that resemble the ones he has seen in his dreams. Annie in turn is born in another state to a family of teachers. She grows up a dreamy and creative girl, often spending time drawing and reading. Her paintings are filled with light and warmth, which those around her consider an expression of her soul. However, there is always a feeling in her that her life is incomplete, as if she is waiting for something. Years pass. Mike becomes an adult and works for a construction company, but the feeling that he is out of place never leaves him. He tries to have relationships, but they never bring him complete satisfaction. One day he decides to move to another city to start over. Annie is also going through a difficult time. She works at a school where she teaches art, but her heart yearns for something elusive. She tries to make sense of her feelings through her art, creating paintings that make her inexplicably sad and happy at the same time. Their paths cross at the library. Mike walks in there looking for a book, while Annie works on her drawings. Their gazes meet and they feel that something connects them. Mike tries to start a conversation, and although the first interaction proves awkward, they feel they should see each other again. In the following weeks, Mike and Annie begin to spend time together. They walk around town talking about their lives and sharing dreams. Both feel they have found someone special, but are afraid to admit it. Mike notices that he feels calmer and happier around Annie than ever before. Annie, in turn, sees in Mike the strength and kindness she has always wanted to find in people. One day during their conversation, they touch on the subject of dreams. Mike describes the woman he sees in his visions, and Annie begins to realize that her own dreams of the light and the kind man are too similar. They begin to remember more and more details, and the puzzle of their past lives slowly comes together. Mike and Annie realize that they were connected to each other long before their current lives. They make the decision to be together despite all the obstacles. Their love, which began in heaven, takes hold again on earth. Mike and Annie feel that after overcoming oblivion and years, they have finally found each other. Together they begin a new chapter of their lives, knowing that true love can overcome anything.